All right, let's dive in today. We're going deep into Paul's first letter to the Corinthians, chapters 12 through 14, all about spiritual gifts.
Very cool stuff.
But we're going a little beyond just a basic Sunday school lesson here.
Yeah, way beyond.
Trying to uncover what Paul's really saying for, how we live today.
Absolutely.
How we build community, how these gifts work in a practical sense.
And you know what's so cool about these chapters is that it's really like peeking behind the curtain of the early church.
Oh, wow.
We see all the warts and all Paul's writing to these Corinthians, and they're having some problems, right?
Oh, yeah, they were a mess.
Big time divisions, misunderstandings,
Yeah.
a lot of confusion about how these spiritual gifts are supposed to work.
Yeah, so like when you hear spiritual gifts, what pops into your head?
Well, I think for a lot of people, it's like supernatural abilities, right?
Right.
Speaking in tongues, healing the sick.
Yeah, like the big flashy stuff.
Yeah, it's easy to go there.
Yeah.
But Paul, he presents a much broader picture.
Okay.
He lists a whole bunch of gifts in chapter 12. And honestly, some of them might surprise you.
Really?
Wisdom, knowledge, faith.
Oh,
those are in there too.
Wow, interesting.
It's not just about the spectacular,
So it's kind of like you've got all these different tools in a toolbox.
That's a great way to put it.
And they all have their own purpose.
Yeah.
And you need them all to build whatever you're building.
Yeah, I love that analogy. It's like each one contributes to a bigger project.
Yeah, and this is where Paul blows my mind. He's like...
He uses this metaphor of the church as a body.
A body.
To illustrate this point, just like a physical body needs all the parts.
Okay.
The heart, the lungs, the brain. To function properly, the church needs people with all these different gifts to thrive.
I love that. So nobody's gift is better than anybody else's.
That's right.
And we all need each other.
Precisely.
Right.
And think about it.
Yeah.
What if every part of the body decided to be a hand or an eye?
Oh, it would be chaos.
Chaos.
Yeah.
Right.
It'd be like a basketball team.
Yeah.
Where everyone wants to play point guard.
Exactly.
We're not going to win many games that way.
You're not going to win any games that way.
And this is Paul's whole point, right?
That's it.
He's trying to show the Corinthians that it's their differences that are going to make them strong.
Yeah.
That their diversity is their strength.
It's in their diversity that they find their unity.
Oh, I love it.
And become something truly remarkable.
That's so good.
Right.
But even with a good team, you need a coach, right?
You do.
You need somebody to guide them. And that's where this idea of love comes in.
Yes.
Right.
Paul's big on that.
Absolutely.
He dedicates a whole chapter, chapter 13.
Right in the middle.
Right in the middle.
Of all this other stuff.
To this idea of love being the essential ingredient.
Oh, wow.
The driving force behind everything.
Yeah.
He doesn't hold back. He's like, love is patient.
Yeah.
Love is kind, not envious, not boastful, not proud.
That's a high bar.
Right.
It's like he's saying.
Yeah.
You can have all these amazing gifts.
Yeah.
But if you don't use them with love,
right,
it's like meaningless.
They're meaningless.
Yeah, it's like having a car with a super powerful engine, but no steering wheel.
Exactly.
You're just going to crash.
You're going to go nowhere fast.
So it's not just about having these gifts.
Right.
It's about how you use them.
It's about the how.
Yeah, to build each other up.
Yeah, and to reflect the heart of God.
So good.
Right.
This is like...
and that message resonates so much today.
It only does.
We live in a world that's so me-focused.
It's all about me, me, me.
It's all about what can I get?
Yeah.
And Paul's reminding us that real fulfillment, true impact, comes from using your gifts to serve others, to make a difference in the world.
And he doesn't just leave it there with these big ideas.
He gets into the nitty-gritty. He gives us the practical application, especially when it comes to some of the more, I don't know, controversial.
Okay, like speaking in tongues.
There it is.
Like this is the one that people are like, I don't get it.
Big questions, lots of debate.
So what was Paul's take?
Well, it's interesting because he actually says that speaking in tongues is a legitimate gift.
Okay.
But there's a but. He's more concerned with how it's being used in the community.
So it's not about shutting it down.
No.
It's about making sure it's used the right way.
Making sure it serves a purpose.
Yeah, it's not a one-man show.
Not a one-man show.
You're not just doing it for you.
Exactly.
All right.
Paul's big on clarity and understanding.
Especially in a group.
Especially in a group setting.
Yeah.
If nobody understands what you're saying,
Yeah.
How can it possibly benefit anyone?
It's like going to a concert.
Yeah.
Where the band's singing in another language.
Exactly.
You can appreciate their skill, but you're not going to understand.
You're not going to connect.
Yeah.
And for Paul, the whole goal is to build up the community, to encourage, to strengthen one another.
And so he's like, if you're going to speak in tongues,
pray for interpretation so that everyone can understand and benefit.
This makes so much sense.
Right.
It's
finding that balance between your own personal experience and making sure the community understands.
This is so good because
that applies. It's not just about tongues.
It applies to everything.
It applies to all the gifts.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow, this is really making me think about how I act in groups.
Yeah.
Because it's so easy to think about me.
Yeah.
But Paul's challenging me to think about we.
It's not about you.
Yeah. And how what I do impacts everyone else.
Exactly.
Wow. All right. It's about
making choices that contribute to the well-being of the whole community.
We're just getting started.
Oh, we're just getting warmed up.
We're going to get even deeper next time.
Deeper next time.
We're going to talk about how this works practically.
Yeah, the practical stuff.
When we're leading worship and...
Yeah. How do we actually do this?
Yeah, just living in a community.
The nitty-gritty.
It's going to be good.
It's going to be good.
See you next time.
See you then. Welcome back.
It's so cool how Paul, like all those years ago, was already talking about the stuff that we struggle with today.
I know, right?
Like how to build a community that actually works.
Yeah, he was dealing with it back then too.
Yeah.
It's like timeless wisdom.
And in chapter 14, he gets into like the nitty-gritty of running a church service.
Yeah.
And it's so practical.
It's like a handbook for creating an environment where everybody can participate and contribute and feel valued.
So what's he saying? Like, break it down for us.
He's really emphasizing order and structure.
Okay, so it's
not a free-for-all.
Yeah.
He's not saying like, okay, everybody just shout out prophecies and speak in tongues whenever you feel like it.
Got it.
It's more thoughtful.
Yeah.
It's intentional.
Okay.
You have to consider everyone in the community.
Yeah.
So, for example, when it comes to speaking in tongues, he's like, limit the number of people who speak at a time and make sure there's always somebody to interpret.
So everybody knows what's going on.
Everyone understands.
It's like a well-run open mic night.
I like that.
Where everybody gets a chance to share.
Exactly.
But it's organized.
Yeah, there's a flow.
Yeah, and everybody can enjoy it.
It's about creating a space where the spirit can move.
Yeah.
But there's a framework that keeps things clear.
Got it.
And that applies to prophecy, too.
So prophecy is about...
It's about speaking God's message, encouraging people, strengthening believers.
Okay, so not just...
Yeah, not necessarily predicting the future.
Okay.
It's about sharing insights.
Yeah.
Words of wisdom, encouragement.
Yeah.
And Paul says, do it in turns.
Oh, so it's not...
Listen to each other.
Yeah.
Weigh what's being said.
Okay.
Don't just talk over each other.
It's like a good brainstorming session.
Right.
Where everybody gets to share ideas.
Exactly.
But you're respectful.
Respectful, thoughtful.
Yeah, you listen.
Yeah.
And then you build on each other's ideas.
That's so good.
And this is like, this isn't just for church.
Right.
This is for any kind of meeting.
This applies to life.
Yeah, like if you're in a business meeting.
Yeah.
Or even just with your family.
Even in your family.
Yeah, like make sure everybody feels heard.
Yeah.
Create that space.
Create that safe space.
Where people feel comfortable to speak.
Exactly.
It's so important.
It's huge.
Yeah, for communication.
Absolutely.
And it's like moving from me to we.
That's it.
Right.
It's a shift.
Yeah, it's thinking about the whole group.
Recognizing that you're part of something bigger.
Yeah, it's not all about me.
Exactly.
It's about us.
It's about how can I contribute to the whole...
I'm really liking this.
Right.
It's making me think about...
It's challenging.
How I show up.
Yeah.
Like how do I act?
How you contribute.
When I'm in a group. It's easy to just focus on myself.
It's so easy.
Yeah, but Paul's like, think about everybody else.
Think bigger.
Yeah. And what's so beautiful is it's not just about following rules.
No, it's deeper.
Yeah.
It's a heart posture.
It's like how you approach it.
It's a way of being.
Yeah.
It's like, when you're learning a new dance, at first you're just trying to remember the steps.
Yeah.
But then as you practice, you get the rhythm.
You get the feel for it.
You internalize it.
Yeah, and it's more natural.
It becomes more graceful.
That's a good analogy.
That's what Paul's getting at.
Yeah.
It's a transformation.
Okay.
It's not just outward behavior.
It's deeper.
It's about changing from the inside out.
So we've talked about love
and
structure and discernment. But Paul also says that every part of the body is important.
Oh, absolutely.
Even the parts that
don't seem as flashy.
Yeah, he's like, don't underestimate the little things.
Don't underestimate.
Like a kind word.
Yeah.
Listening to somebody.
Helping someone out.
Yeah, those things matter.
Those things are essential.
He even talks about, taking care of sick people.
Yeah, the less glamorous stuff.
Yeah, helping people in need.
Serving the overlooked. Yeah. The marginalized.
Like rolling up your sleeves.
That's it.
And getting your hands dirty.
He's like, if you want to show love, if you want to build a real community, you got to get in there.
Yeah.
And do the hard work.
That's not always pretty.
It's not always pretty.
It's not always fun.
But it's essential.
It's about recognizing that everybody has value.
Everyone matters.
Yeah, no matter who they are.
Regardless of their status.
Yeah, or what they can do for you.
Their abilities.
It's a powerful message.
Especially today.
Yeah, because our world's all about,
achievements,
appearance, how you look. But Paul's like, no. That's not what matters.
It's about the heart.
Yeah, it's about serving
others.
Yeah, even when nobody's watching.
Even when nobody sees.
And when you do that, it's like a ripple effect.
It spreads.
Yeah, it can change the world.
It's like planting a seed. Okay. You might not see the fruit right away.
Yeah.
But it has the potential to grow.
Yeah, and affect so many people.
To create something beautiful and life-giving. That's the legacy Paul is inviting us to. It's a legacy of love, of service, of radical inclusivity.
This has been so good.
I know.
There's so much to learn from these chapters.
Yeah, Paul was really onto something.
Yeah, and we're not done yet.
No, we're not done.
We've got one more part.
One more piece.
We're going to talk about discernment.
Yeah. How do we know what's true?
Yeah, especially in a world where everybody's got an opinion. Yeah. And there's so much information out there.
It's overwhelming.
It's tough to figure it all out.
So we'll unpack that next time.
It's going to be good.
Can't wait.
So we're back. And it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
How this letter from Paul, written, like thousands of years ago.
Thousands.
Still applies to us today.
Absolutely.
Like we are dealing with the same stuff.
Yeah.
In our world.
Big time.
Like how to figure out what's true.
Right.
Because there's so much information out there.
It's overwhelming.
And everyone's got an opinion.
Everybody's an expert.
Yeah, it's like, how do you even know where to start?
And that's why Paul, he talks about discernment.
Okay, so discernment, like what does that even mean?
Well, in this context, it's about being able to tell the difference
between
truth and falsehood. Okay. What's good and what's bad. What's from God.
Yeah.
And what's not.
So it's like you've got to have a filter.
You gotta have a filter. You can't just believe everything you see and hear.
Right, because some of it's garbage.
Right. Yeah. Especially when it comes to, like, spiritual stuff.
Yeah, so how do we do that?
Well, Paul gives us some clues.
Okay.
He says, test everything.
Oh, I like that.
Right. Yeah. And hold fast to what is good.
Okay, so he's not saying, be gullible.
Don't just believe everything.
Swallow everything whole. You got to ask questions.
Okay.
Think critically.
Yeah.
Get advice from wise people.
Okay, so it's like being a detective.
I love that.
You investigate.
You gather the evidence.
You look at the clues.
Yeah.
And then you
figure out what's really going on.
And this is so important now.
Oh, it's more important than ever.
Because there's just so much stuff out there.
So much noise.
Yeah. And it's easy to get tricked. It's easy to be misled.
So, okay, we have to be detectives.
Yeah.
But, like, how do we actually do that?
Well, first of all,
okay,
we need to know our Bibles.
Okay, so spend time in the Word.
The more we know the Bible, the better equipped we are to spot a fake.
Oh, okay. So it's like you're going on a trip and you need a map.
You need a map.
Yeah, and the Bible's our map.
It keeps us on the right track.
Keeps us from getting lost.
Exactly.
Okay, so read your Bible. What else?
Yeah, well, it's also important to find some wise people.
Okay, so
people you trust.
Mentors, like...
Yeah, mentors, people who've been there, done that.
Yeah, who've made good decisions.
Right, who can give you advice.
Okay, so, like, if you're struggling with something... Go to somebody.
You don't have to figure it out alone.
You got to have a team.
Absolutely.
That's good.
It's like having a coach who can help you develop your skills.
Oh.
Point out your blind spots.
Okay.
Help you improve.
And, Discernment isn't something you just learn overnight.
It's a process. It's a journey. You're always learning.
Yeah, you're always growing.
Always refining.
Yeah.
Your ability to see what's true.
And it takes humility.
Oh, for sure.
Because you got to be willing to say, I don't know everything.
You don't have all the answers.
And you got to be willing to change your mind.
Yeah, to be open to new information.
Man, this has been so good.
I know, right?
I feel like Paul is speaking right to us.
Right to us.
Even though he wrote this like years ago.
Timeless wisdom.
It's amazing how these chapters have so much to teach us.
So much to teach us.
About using our gifts.
Yeah.
About building community.
About loving each other.
About figuring out what's true.
It's all in there.
It's a challenge.
It is.
But it's a good challenge.
It's a challenge worth embracing.
So, let's go out there.
Yes.
And use our gifts.
Use your gifts.
To love people.
Love people.
To build community.
Build community.
And to seek truth.
Seek truth.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, this has been fun.